The National Lotteries Commission has welcomed the decision to grant Ithuba Holdings a temporary license to run the National Lottery, avoiding potentially disruptive pause in operations. Trade, Industry and Competition Minister Park Stow made the announcement on Saturday night. Now, the minister said the temporary license agreement is valid for a period of 12 months, effective from the 1st of June 2025. Last week, the minister announced that SABC was awarded the license to operate the National Lottery. Professor Bani Bichana is the chairperson of the NLC board, and he joins us live on the line. Good afternoon, Professor. Thank you very much for joining us on Point. Now, one can assume... No, it's a pleasure to have you with us, Professor. Now, one can assume you're breathing a sigh of relief with where things stand currently, with Ithuba now being allowed to continue for 12 months. Just share with us what would have been the concern in the first instance if this decision wasn't taken.
It's a great relief indeed, and we are very pleased that it has come to this. It has meant a lot of work and a lot of negotiations. It has meant a lot of taking advice from lawyers in particular and from financial analysts. It has meant a great deal of goodwill from Ithuba in particular, because at the same time as they were available for this, they have had a disappointment as far as the fourth license is concerned. The issue we had for us was detected by Judge Potterell herself, who realized that this was a public interest issue. And it meant really that the National Lottery was being compromised or likely to be compromised, and that the people who are to become beneficiaries of the lottery could not be assured of support for worthy good causes in the manner in which they're used to. But secondly, for us, the problem was, if we don't have an operating national lottery day by day, we might lose the share of the business that we have, and lose it really normally to illegal operators. And that, I think, would have made the assumption of the lottery by SABC a lot more difficult than it otherwise needs to have been.
But Professor, there's still a bit of a legal challenge here, because the decision by the minister now to extend by 12 months has gone against essentially what the judge initially stated. Yes, granted, you say that the judge went on to state that this was in the public good or public interest, but the judge allowed for a 5-month extension in the public interest. How then has the minister, you state that you've gone on to consult legally, how has the minister been able to circumvent this aspect and been able to extend by 12 months without being viewed as disregarding an order of the court?
The minister was very, very careful that we do not sin, because we live in a rule of law environment. He was very careful that he never be seen to be going against the rule of law. You're right in saying that we went to the court the second time with Judge Moki to really seek a variation of the order of a just and equitable operations that the judge had allowed. But the judge then allowed 5 months, and after a lot of consultation with Ithuba, it became quite clear, and we had to accept that it would be very, very unfair for Ithuba to accept this responsibility we're putting on them at the loss of 51 million rand within 5 months. That didn't seem to us. That is what really got us to go to the judge in the first instance. But the judge said something important that the minister took to heart. One was that the minister actually does have other options of operating the license and extending the license with whoever he wishes to do so. Now, the judge was quite right, but Section 13B of the Act makes provision for a temporary license, but in this instance, it's a matter of emergency that has befallen us, and it is to deal with that emergency that the minister had to act.
So, pardon me just for interjecting there, just for clarity. So, Section 13B allows for an extension if there is an emergency, but for a period of how long? Does it allow it now to go up to 12 months?
Up to 2 years. Up to 2 years. Yes.
All right. So meaning in this instance, he was then able to circumvent that specific order, but it cannot be Ithuba per se, because we understand now it had to be a sister company.
Exactly. What the minister has done, the company, you see, there are two Ithubas. The company that has now been granted a temporary license was an extension of the third license. You see, the third license is what Ithuba Holdings was having, and this is an emergency extension for a given time to run the lottery. So it doesn't impinge on Ithuba lottery, which was the originally granted the temporary license by the minister, and that was actually set aside by the court.
Okay, so as some would say, that was a master stroke in the 11th hour, that the minister decided to go this route. Then just in closing, to the commission itself, yours as chair is it's a mammoth task. There have been a lot of issues reported when it comes to the commission, from allegations of corruption among leaders at the time, the previous leaders, and also the many legal challenges that are constantly brought. Now, you are brought in to clean up and stabilize. How is that program coming along?
Thank you very much. I'm very honored to serve in this way in the twilight of my life. The second thing is that really through the wisdom of the minister, previous minister, he put together a team of 6 of us with a very specific brief. People beyond doubt in terms of their integrity, people with the right mixture of skills. So first of all, I think tribute must be paid to the board that the minister put together, which has been sustained since May 2023. That board is not likely to be amenable to any form of wrongdoing or corruption or anything, is absolutely beyond reproach. The second thing is that in appointing the commissioner, once again, we found a very seasoned public servant with great knowledge of the system of government and the DTIC as well. And she was then able to bring in senior management executive people to actually be the ones who drive this new National Lotteries Commission. That is the work that we are doing at the moment. I realize that we haven't got everything right. We have not got everything in place. But I think we're going the right direction and we're going the right way. And I can say there is hope for a reformed National Lotteries Commission.
Unfortunately, we have run out of time, Professor, but thank you very much for your time this afternoon. I was hoping we could speak about the inspectorate, which has been looking into the non-existent projects that are actually on the ground that are being funded, which the inspectorate seems to be just monitoring now, something that was just brought about by the professor. But that's where we leave it. Professor Bani Pichane, the chair of the National Lottery, speaking to us.